settings. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so hopefully I'm going live. Let's mute that. Should be working. Yeah, looks like I'm live now. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a match, Atomic Banter Blitz match. I'm playing against fast-tsunami. Starts in a couple of minutes. 3 minutes each for the games, and it's the first to 6 points. With a slight caveat that if you have more whites than your opponent when you get to 6 points, and you carry on playing, if they can still catch up. So, for example, if it's 6-5 but you've had an extra white, then you continue playing. I think it's going to be a pretty tough match. He's one of the best players at Atomic, so, and also he's a very strong fast player as well. So I think the zero increment is not going to be my friend particularly. But yeah, looking forward to it. I think it should be a good match. Hopefully, I think the most likely outcome is either it's a very close, interesting match, or I get completely thumped. Because generally, yeah, he's ready to go. So let's start. We're a couple of minutes early, but by the time we start the games, it'll probably be fine. So Atomic 3-0. My advantages over him are generally openings. I think I'm quite a bit stronger in the openings, but I haven't really been playing much recently and not as well prepared as I would like to be. So I suspect could be a tough one. Okay, so he gets white to start with. Okay, so these guys. Oh. Good luck. So he's also running a stream at the same time. You can find it by looking at his account. It should be linked to his stream as well, so you can perhaps look back and forth between us depending on who you want to watch. Yeah, this is kind of standard at the moment. Yeah, this is kind of normal stuff. Bishop d3, bishop g7. Now the main lines, yeah, so queen f4 is one of the main lines. Now I think bishop f5 is what I've usually played here. And then after knight f6 they can take and you can block with the bishop. In fact, I can just print that. There are some draws here, like when black kind of goes back and forth on these squares, or to g5, but I suspect he wouldn't play that way. So of course you can go to f4 and then go in here. I think in that case I'll get bishop h4, which is, or maybe yeah, because then if he goes king d1, then knight b4, and he loses over this side. So you can't do that. I'm trying to remember what the main line is here. I think there's definitely some very critical stuff that white can try in these positions. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's perhaps not by taking on f5. So perhaps already black's doing okay. So yeah, so if knight b5 now, I think knight b5, bishop h4, and then king d1, knight b4, c3, knight d3, and I win because of the bishop. So he's going for a queen exchange. I guess I have to accept that. 5. So I can take on b2. He's just letting me take. So I can take on b2. He takes on a7. Yeah, he's doing very well there, I guess. He's just got an extra pawn, so I probably have to just play knight b4. He can jump in, but he's not really winning with just this knight, so I'm not too concerned about that. So yeah, he's stopping me from taking on b2. Seems like a good idea. So now I can take on take on a2. He is pawn up, and it doesn't look like, so takes castles. He can play something like f3. So I probably have to avoid that. Maybe I can just castle first though, because if he takes on a7, then I can play bishop h4. So now he probably has to spend a bit of a tempo doing something, and then I can move my a pawn, and I don't have to worry about this check. Yeah, so now I'm just going to move the a pawn. I think possibly just a5, and now maybe I just take. I mean, he gets a good knight. It's kind of awkward for me, but I'm not too worried at the moment. I mean, it is going to be kind of annoying, but there you go. I'm just going to start pushing. Yeah, I'm not sure that was the best idea. Let's come back here. Oh crap. Yeah, okay, he's playing knight here. This is the only move. Yeah, I missed that completely. That was very silly of me. But yeah, I think I'm in big trouble now. But it's not fatal. He hasn't taken on there yet. So I'm just going to open up this so my bishop is threatening on b2. But I think he can just take on h7, and now the open. Oh, yeah, okay, he's going for more dynamic, but he can still take here next move, or play this first. Like here, takes on h7. Oh, hang on, he's played f5. Sorry, I thought it was his move for some reason. Is he just winning? Okay, well, I don't really have much choice. Oh, I'm just playing this. Yeah, so he's playing. So I've got to bring my king up, I guess. I think he's kind of played this in a very strange way, but it's probably still winning for him. Oh, he's just got this check, then I have to come here. Rook f4. Yeah, he's going to have knight. He's got knight f4. Yeah, it just makes me nice. Okay, yeah, it looked like he probably didn't convert that in the cleanest way, but it was too difficult for me really with his. Once I let his pawn get to h6, it was pretty horrible. Okay, so one down. I think a key to this match for me is to just try and play fast, because he's a much stronger fast player than me, so if I get down on the clock significantly in games, I think it's going to be pretty brutal. So I just need to play fast and try and keep a bit of a time edge. It's key to do that, maybe to try and do that in the openings. So this line is actually a very tricky line. I've played it before quite a few times. It's quite dangerous for black, but if he knows what he's doing, it's leads to some interesting positions. I think queen g4, maybe f6, and then maybe knight b4 is what he's supposed to do here. Can't remember exactly, but I've got a feeling it's this, and then knight g6, and then takes, and then when he takes on c2, I get some good play with like bishop d3 and castles. Bishop d3, d5 castles, knight f6. I'm getting the bishop to g6, and with the open c file, that's going to be pretty nice, I think. Of course, gaining a tempo on this, so I think he should just take. I don't see any bishop moves or king d8 or something being any better. No, if he doesn't take it, he's in trouble. So bishop d3, threatening to come in here. And also just the castle. My pieces are really active. And also the c file can be useful as well, like if his king has to run away. You play something like knight f6, bishop g5. I guess I can just come straight in like this. So yes, he plays d5 first. d8. So I've got this move as well to come here. Maybe that's good, just bishop e8, he has to play b6 I think. And then bishop d7. Sorry, b6, bishop d7, he has to move his bishop and then I can take on a6. You've got this, but I don't think it leads to anything. So I think I'm probably winning this position now. Maybe this whole line was just dodgy. I've got in fact, maybe I can just take on e6 and then just threaten to bring the rook in. Because he hasn't, surely he hasn't got time. Let's take on e6. Rather than taking directly there, because then it does allow him to play knight g4. Now I just get my rook down to f7. I mean, he can avoid it, yeah, by doing this and then king c7, but I just take on a7. And I mean, I'm just exchanging a rook. So, you know, it felt like quite a smooth game. I guess he probably just didn't get out the opening properly. The line he played probably wasn't adequate. Okay, so always tougher with black. This line's one of the... This line isn't played so much, I don't think, but it's quite a dangerous line. I can play rook h6 in these positions, yeah. And now I think I take this. No, not after knight d5 I don't, but I think in general I want to take that. And then play bishop g4 and e6. That's my recollection of this. So I play like bishop g4, e6. So f3 I'm expecting. Or maybe he can just move, yeah, he's playing that. And now the idea is I kind of play f5. I've also got queen to a4 in some positions if I need it. But basically I want to try and get some... With my bishop there I don't play f5, but after he takes it, that's my point, is that I play f5. And then in some cases I can even just, like, let's say he plays bishop g5. Sometimes I can even just castle and then try and use the f line. But in this case maybe I need to play queen a5 first. So bishop g5, castles, bishop takes d8, f takes e4, queen f3, rook f4. Because he has got, if he castles queenside, maybe I can play knight b4. I think that's an interesting position, because I mean I am the exchange up because I took here. So he's not letting me do that. He's just playing g3. So now I kind of want to play f4, I think. Again, if he plays bishop g5, maybe I can play this e5, threatening d6. So if I go to d5, I think he's kind of hoping to in some cases he might be able to do this, like after queen f3. But I'm going to play it. The alternative was to take, but then, I don't know, his d-pawn push can be quite annoying, especially because my king can't escape, because he's covering f8 square. So my plan now is, I do, if it's my move, I guess I take on g3 and I threaten queen h4, because I really wanted to move this bishop so that I can castle. So I'm not sure, maybe he moves his queen. He could play something like queen d2 perhaps, queen e2. And then if I take it as queen f2, queen h4, castle queenside. Maybe I can play queen e4 there though, or bishop d3. Okay. Again, I mean I just have to kind of move fairly quickly, I think. So I'm just going to take this, threaten this. I don't see it as being too bad at the moment, but it is a tactical position, like most atomic positions. So far, time situation looking decent. Okay, he's really not letting me castle. Queen h4 I guess I have to play. So if he can't play rook e1 because of queen e1. He can try and just kind of put the queen on this line like queen f2. But then I also still have these lines with queen e4, kind of annoying because then the queen's coming to e2. So maybe he plays queen f3 here and then just like does a queen exchange, but then I can castle queenside. Yeah, so now I can play queen e4 or queen f4. I guess both force the queen exchange. I don't think I have anything better. I can play queen h2. Is there any advantage? I don't think so. I think I'm just doing this and then castling queenside. So he'll win the exchange back, but I have got an extra pawn then, and these two passes should be very, very strong. So it's looking good for me at the moment. I mean, I'm guessing he can try some sort of thing like this, but this knight is also unpinned now. So I'm going to feel quite good when I... So he's letting me take on e5. I think I should. Yeah, okay, that went surprisingly well. 2-1. So, what shall I do next? Let's go for this line. I've tried to get this in a few times. If my opponent's been watched my stream before, then he'll possibly be expecting this. I've tried to get this in the last couple of matches I had, but no one ever let me do it. I don't really actually, I haven't studied this in much depth, but the idea is that after black kind of takes on e4, you play knight c3, and you get really good development, and this open, half open e-file gives you a lot of chances for a strong initiative. So after like takes knight c3, maybe they play like a6 or b5, and then you just play d4, and your pieces are just coming out like really quickly like this with queen e2 and castles. I think the best move is supposed to be knight c6. Yeah. Maybe there are even some ideas of playing knight e4 and d5 if he takes. You get some of those ideas in some other similar positions. Knight h6. Okay. So bishop d3 is the natural move, I guess, here. Looks like it could be quite good. Bishop d3, knight f5. It's kind of annoying. So I'm tempted by this. Knight e4 takes d5, queen d6, bishop f4, knight f5. Also got queen e2 though in that position. I need to just move. I can't spend like this is the problem. I like to think too much. Okay, let's just do this. I'm not sure if this is a good move or not. How's if bishop f4 is also possible. Maybe bishop f4 was decent last move as well. Actually, bishop f4 could have been interesting. Like bishop f4, e5, bishop d3. But I shouldn't be thinking about what I should have done the last move. But takes bishop f4, e5. We can still play bishop d3. Knight f5 takes on e5. Interesting. But I think it's got to be decent to just play d5 here. d5, queen d6. Bishop f4, knight f5. So if I go d5, queen d6, bishop d3 instead, then knight f5 anyway probably. He's getting his pieces in, it's kind of awkward slightly. I'm going to play d5 though, so knight f5, if I go queen e2 he plays knight here of course. bishop d3. I'm expecting knight f5, and then with the jump into e3. I'm hoping I can just play like bishop f4, knight e3, queen e2. That's my intention. He's kind of logging up the e file, but could be interesting anyway. It kind of feels like knight e3 he has to really play. Maybe I can even castle. What am I talking about? He's got g2. Queen e2, yeah. That's got to be the move. So yeah, my king can't... oh, I couldn't... that was wrong for two reasons, wasn't it? Because he couldn't do this. So now I probably just want to take his queen. He's getting a lot of play, which is not what you want in a game against fast-tsunami. But, c'est la vie. So, I kind of want to take on g6, I think. So if I play d6, takes queen d3, I don't... So he's not going to take, of course, he's going to move. Then there, queen d3, takes rook d8, queen there takes... Yeah, he's just winning, isn't he, like, in that line. Oh, dearie me. Okay. Let's play f4. I can't even kind of get some space because he's got two rooks, so it's not going to be a draw. Let's just move the c pawn. And let's move over here. Oh crap, it's coming in there. If I can give my queen away for the two knights, I'm happy with that. But I've only got 10 seconds. I should probably have thrown in d7 there. I'll play it next move if I can. Whew. Okay, that's generally the kind of situation. I'm not sure I commented much at all at the end there, I'm sorry about that. I had to just concentrate on moving quickly. But yeah, I think it was good for me generally, like most of that. But that's the kind of situation I want to avoid generally in this match, because he's generally much faster than me in these situations. Okay. Okay, so do I play a6 or c6? I think a6 is the safer move. I think with c6 he can play knight b5, and then after I take taking a d4 and e4, it's going to be quite dangerous. I think this is what I do, but he kind of gets, if he I guess he plays knight d6, takes, and he's got two bishops against two knights. It's probably better for white, these kind of positions. But at least I've survived the opening, and that's generally, I think if you get this kind of position as black, generally you're doing okay. I can still develop like this, maybe play f5. This knight is more difficult to develop, maybe it can go to d7. So b3 is playing bishop a3. So do I want to play f5 and knight f6, or do I want to play knight h6? I think the fact he's played b6 kind of makes me want to do this and develop my knight this way. Yeah, there's also some ideas of this, but I generally just want to put my queen, my knight here. I can play f4 in some positions. Okay, he's kind of pushing me into doing this. Let's castle. I can play e5. I think I'm doing I think it's about equal, probably. Equal position, but I need to develop this knight. I can just bring this knight over here. If he plays bishop a3, I'm kind of probably just going to start pushing this pawn. So he's going that way instead. c4 is a move that looks interesting. Takes knight b6, bishop a3 though, doesn't look so good. If he takes, I've got e5, so maybe he's planning on playing f4 and taking on c5. So maybe I'll play f4. And next I'll probably just bring this knight over here. Not sure what he's going to play actually. Maybe he just kind of... Okay, I wasn't expecting that. But I think that makes sense. Queen g5 is possible now. Queen g5 I actually quite like, I think. So if he goes f4, I play queen h5. He can exchange queens, and then I play knight f6. Now if he takes this way, I can play d4 to blunt his bishop. So he can play... my knight's getting in, so maybe he plays g4, and then after knight takes here, then he plays takes, and he hits g7. I can play knight c3 if I want to exchange. Okay, so he does it this way. Now he probably plays g4. And then I'll probably put a rook on d8. Just looking to play knight e4 anyway. Oh, I completely missed it on that actually, but I guess I play this way rather. I could go to e8. E8 might have been slightly better. And then I have kind of put squares for both my rooks on the light squares. Oh, but this couldn't be too bad because I'm threatening d3. So I'm going to put my other rook on c8. Just still trying to play d3. Yeah, that's annoying, but I just do this, I guess. And then knight to e3. Covering the f1 square. The thing is, if I play e4 now, you can play f6, so maybe it was better for me to block the f line. So rook f2. Oh, that's annoying, actually. Oh, that's a good move. If I take, he plays f6, takes rook f1. I can play rook takes d6. Maybe I have to play rook takes d6. Then he takes on. I'm just going to have to do it, I think. It looked dangerous, like his f6 move. Maybe there was a way around that, but I didn't see it. This knight just gives me some play. Oh yeah, well, this just wins, I guess. I have to play knight f5. Maybe I can hold a draw here somehow. Takes rook f1. So if he swaps a rook off on the e line, then I kind of feel a little bit better about life. Let's play d3. And then... Yeah, so he's going to play g4, isn't he? Oh dear, I haven't got time. I haven't got time to set up a draw. Yeah, this is lost. Let's just play it out. Oh, let's push that pawn up there. He plays rook to the back and then takes it. If I'd done it the other way, he would have won anyway. Yeah. What's that score? 3-2. Okay. d4. So I think these lines are generally quite good with d4. Generally I'm going to play knight h3 and he's going to have to take in lots of positions, like probably the next move. I'm going to play knight c3, he's probably going to have to take it, and then that's a kind of decent exchange. Like b5 is probably the most natural move. Knight h3 takes e4, and you kind of get similar positions to what you get in some of the old style, after maybe a move, well, he's probably not going to play f6, but in some kind of his old style large centre positions. But the early exchange of a light square bishop is often quite nice for white. Yeah, so I'm going to go for that. Or maybe I've even got knight e4 again. Have I got knight e4 again? It's quite similar, isn't it? Yeah, so then takes d6, queen d6, and then e4 in this case. This looks quite dangerous because, I mean, it's very important that my pawn's on f3 and not f2 because he doesn't have this tempo. Oh, I cancel my own pre-move. He can try and kind of, I guess he's going to try and do something with this, but it doesn't look like it works to me. Like, I can just take it either way. I can take it here and then queen e5, bishop e3. Or after this jump I can take it queen f6, queen f3. And he can't play queen d4 because of the f7 pawn. I don't know what ones he's most likely to do, I guess this one. And if he can't jump with the knight, then I'm not sure. Queen g6, bishop g5. If he plays something slow like f6, I can just play e5. So he's probably going to play queen f4. I mean, if he doesn't play queen f4, I do play bishop g5 now. So queen f4. So if my, I want to move my bishop because I mean if this bishop wasn't pinned, then I could play queen a3. So I'm thinking maybe bishop c4 might be strong. And then if he plays like, well, I've just got so many threats there. If he takes then queen a3 and I'm just taking his queen. And if he plays something like f6, then I can just play d6. Like, oh no, or I can just play queen a3, of course. It's better than the other. I'm playing bishop c4. I think that's a strong move. I don't see what he can do, really. Maybe he can just kind of take, but then there's going to be far too much. I mean, bishop g5, castles, d6, all moves. So now, yeah, I think queen a3. I guess he plays b4, queen a4, c6. I just take and take his queen, or I can even play on check on f7. Oh no, you've got queen d6. So if I play d6 first, e6, d7, king d8, it feels like there should just be a win here, like, directly. But I'm not seeing it somehow. Why am I not seeing anything? d6. Okay. I think he's got to play e6. It looks like the only move to me. Oh. So I want to play queen d3, he takes on e4, I castle, or bishop f4, and then castle queenside. Oh, that looks like it's a bit easier. So he's playing knight b6, I guess, but then I'm just taking knight d5, bishop takes. So yeah, I think this is a forced win now. So yeah, I think he had to play slightly differently. Maybe there was a forced win there, more direct than what I played. This is the same thing that we had earlier. I said d4 this time. I guess I do the same. So now I'm a pawn up, but he does have obviously better pieces. One idea is to kind of push this pawn up to e6 and then just really block me in. But I like having an extra pawn. It's nice to have something to play for when you're black anyway. So something like e4, e5, d5, e6. So he's going to do standard kind of sacrifice. Maybe playing e5 now before I can move my d pawn. I can never really castle because of queen takes. Excuse me, because of queen takes h5. So he's playing queen f3. He's hoping to come over here, but I can always play king f8 in that case. So it's not too scary. Maybe he's planning something else. Queen f. Yeah, I'm covering this. I'm not sure what he's planning, but I'm sure it's going to be unpleasant when it happens. d6 looks normal. e5 will then happen. e5, d6 takes on f6.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I don't like d5 after d6. It looks a bit too unpleasant. But if I can survive it, I don't think I can. Another move is just to play something like king f8. Is sometimes an interesting move, or e6. I'm going to play e6, I think. I didn't see any direct way that he can play like one of these moves to attack d6, so I can just play d6 after he does it. Doesn't look too scary. And if he plays e5 now, I can just play f5, or perhaps even some other move like b6, because when he takes, I've got queen f6 thanks to playing e6. One idea for me to now is to kind of push this pawn, but I have to be I have to kind of wait a bit before I do that, because if I do it too quickly, then opening up the h file will mean that he can just castle queenside and invade. So he's playing d5, he's going to play after this, he's going to play e5. And he's hoping that in the meantime he can just squish me with this move. Also after this now I can't play queen f6 because he's got pressure on e6. I'm going to play... so b6 is one option, but that means I can't play queen a5. King f8 is another move. Sometimes it's a good move. I'm just going to play it, because it means that sometimes I can move this knight. At the moment, of course, he's attacking this, but eventually I'm going to play d6. It feels like I've got too many holes in my position. For me, I mean, he can play like e5 now, and then it pretty much forces me to play f5. My queen is covering all the dark squares, and he hasn't got a dark square bishop or any other piece that can attack with dark squares, so that's the good news. He might just castle queenside now and then look to kind of open this up. c3. And he's just covering these squares. I think I've got to do something like to develop this bishop, because otherwise my pieces are just not in the game. This bishop's just so buried. Yeah, castle queenside, so he's going to take on e6. I don't see what to do against that, actually. So bishop a6, d takes. I can play d5 because he can't take on d6 directly. I mean, I have to do something. So if I play d5, yeah, he can't take it and pass on because I've got his rook. He probably just pushes the pawn, and I don't want to put my king repinning myself. And then he's going to be able to come into the dark squares somehow. Queen g5 takes, rook h1, doesn't work. I want to play king e7, but I mean it just looks so dodgy. He's got queen f4. Queen b8 could be a move. So he can take king e8, take on d5, but then I can take it. Oh, then he's got queen c7. So rook takes d5 just wins, I think. Just takes queen c6. I didn't see queen c6. Yeah, well played. Okay, that was a good game by him, I think. So 4-3. What shall I do next? So I was going to play knight c3 in at least one game. main move here is bishop b4. That's what I kind of expect most of the time. But there are some other moves that you can try, like queen h4. Someone played queen f6 against me the other day, which I didn't think was so good. But he got a reasonable position, my opponent, so maybe it is. This is the kind of forcing line which I had in my game my match against Ayuba, but he kind of went wrong. So queen h4 here, g3. Then Ayuba played queen f4, which allows me to develop with knight f3. But better is queen d4, because then I have to play d3 and it's not such a useful move. I'd expect Tsunami to play queen d4 and then take on e5. And then I like this line with f4. I've played this a few times. It's kind of fun because the idea is generally you're going to play knight f3 and then after f6, perhaps not immediately, but eventually you play knight e5, takes, and then play f5. Kind of like this reversed black openings with the kind of stuff that you play against knight f3, e3, when like knight f3, f6, e3, d5 lines. Okay, of course it's quite different because the structure is a bit different, but the general idea of cracking open the f-file with the knight and then playing f5. Perhaps actually it's more like the lines where you play e6, f6, and then play f5 on move 3. So knight h6. So I can play h3, but then he goes knight f5, so I think I do need to just develop the knight. f6. So I can play h3 now, then knight g4. Interesting. So I can also play knight g5. But, oh, he's got knight f5. That was really dumb, wasn't it? Oh no, he hasn't got knight f5. I can just play knight e5. So he does this. So I was thinking that maybe I could play knight e5 here. I guess he exchanges the knights. Because if he takes and takes, I'd suspect that the f pawn is slightly better than the h pawn. Now I'm castling, I've got ideas of playing this and this, so he probably takes on c3 on that square. Maybe I rushed a bit with this because my bishop is now just in the middle of nowhere. What should I play? So one idea is to play b4 and then after he takes to play b5. Maybe that's interesting. I don't like the idea of giving in his bishop so easily. Okay, I'm playing bishop c4. It looks a bit strange. I mean, he can just play d5. He's coming in that way. Maybe now I can play a3. And then if he plays knight here, I can play something like bishop a6. Don't know how good this is. Position's probably equalish. I'm going to just try and make the most of put my pawns on the light squares. So he might probably play one of these moves to stop my bishop from going to h6. If I play e5, then he plays this, and then he puts his bishop on b7, which would be kind of annoying. So I'm going to play c4. I think this is just kind of equalish. I've got slightly more space and my pawns, I guess, a bit better. I can play like this and get my bishop in there. He's castled. I'm going to play g5. Just because I think I've got a slight advantage here. It's not major, but I've also got this idea of playing here and here. I think I'm going to have to play e5 if I want to try and do something. And then play bishop b2. So he's going to play now c5 and bishop b7, because otherwise... So I'm going to do this. The bishop belongs there. And now I'm just going to take and push the pawn. This should be slightly better for me, but I mean he has got yeah, I mean I don't think I'm going to be winning this game. Maybe I can just try and move the rook over this one. I think the rook exchange, though, I think it's just a draw. It's opposite colour bishops as well, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, next game. That was quite interesting. I felt like I had some pressure in that game, but I probably had to be precise at some moments to make the most of it, or at least put him under a bit more pressure. Okay, what shall I play? Queen f6, I guess. He's playing the main line. I'm going to do this. Maybe I should have played knight c6 on move 2. It's kind of a bit of a more interesting fighty line. I should play queen a4 here, I think, is pretty much the only move. I think this is slightly rare. It used to be kind of popular, but it's actually quite good for white, I think, objectively, with like king d1. When I first started analysing this line many years ago, I remember thinking that queen d4 was also good, but it turns out that actually I think it's not so strong. Although if he does play it, it will be tough for me to remember why. I think it's bishop d6, and then after king d1 you play queen h4. I think that's the plan. Now his queen's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it gets kind of kicked around a bit. Like knight takes, I guess knight g4. But I'm actually kind of on my own now. I know that this like position is supposed to be quite interesting and like playable for black, but that's it. So knight g5, king d8 probably. But you can take on e6. So knight g5. Yeah, it takes on e6. Why am I doing okay there? Doesn't look very good. Good news is that I've got an extra minute, which will be helpful in these positions. So yeah, he's played that. So if I go f6, I think he's going to take there anyway. King d8, knight takes e6, then d6. Oh, what happens after he takes? So he takes on h7. This is just horrible, isn't it? I think I must have messed this right up. Either that or I just completely misremembered everything. So bishop b7 I guess is kind of the only real move, because I'm hitting here. You can't block it this way because of this, and you can't block that way. So maybe I should have taken on here after all. So bishop f3, king e1, bishop e2, queen. So okay, I mean I should throw in this check, I guess. So another option is to play queen h5, f3 takes, queen g4, and I can take on g3. So is that actually just a win? Oh, he goes g4, of course. Not. No, but he can't play g4 because then I go bishop f3. So I think maybe this wins. So g4, bishop f3. Yeah, so now I take. So g4, queen h4. I don't see any way for him to escape that. Because I mean, he can attack. This is the only way he can attack me, but his queen will just get captured. So you can run with king c2, queen e1, king d1, queen d1, and I win. Okay. Next one. Okay. So knight of 3. Oops. So I'm going in the exchange. For bishop h6, usually in this position. Yeah. And I had this in my last match as well. I kind of like these positions generally. I think white gets a little bit of pressure. Nothing too dramatic, but it's just nice to play. So I think this is still following my game against Ayuba. He went bishop g4, f3, knight a6, if I remember right. And then knight d5, and he played e5, which... Okay, so he's going straight for knight a6. Before playing bishop g4. I'm guessing I just do the same thing. I just play knight d5. After he takes it, which he definitely should, bishop b5, king f8. Now maybe I can play bishop d7 though. Well, but that's very double-edged actually, because you've got queen a5 and knight b4 options. So bishop b5, king f8, bishop d7, queen a5, c3. You can take on d7. That doesn't look very worrying. I think perhaps I just play something like a3. Just control this square, and I know I'm still threatening bishop b5. Still kind of on the cards. So he hasn't castled, but he probably will next to avoid bishop here. Or maybe he can play knight c7 and just try and shore up the square that way. Because with his knight on a6, he obviously can't play a6 or b5 so easily. So he's avoiding the check. I'm just going to play h5. Just try and open up the h line now that he's castled. Oh, he's got knight. Is that a good move? So his idea is that I take it, he plays queen b6. I've got queen d4. I can also take on h6, g6 immediately. And then do that. I'm going to take it, just because I'm gaining a tempo here. Natural move is to play something like h5, but he might play something else like bishop h5. Or play h6 actually is more sensible, because now I can't play queen h6 in some lines. But I can also now take on g4, so that's the downside of it, because now I'll be threatening queen g4. His knight's not actually threatening to jump in, so that seems kind of sensible. He's got knight d3 check. I mean, if I take him, can play queen a5 with a check, and then kind of covering over here. But actually, it's not covering really, because if he does defend with the queen on g5, I've got the h6 pawn. So perhaps he plays something like queen c8 or queen d7 now. But I've also got this rook lift, which is difficult for him to defend. So, like for example, queen c8, queen g4 takes rook h3. And then my rook's just coming in. I mean, he can play something like this, I guess, is the only way to defend that. But that looks really weird. It doesn't look like it should be good. So he's just playing f5, f5, but now queen h5? What's his defence to queen h5? Knight d3, bishop takes. Oh, he's just taking on e4, then king h8, but I'm taking on e7, so I guess he throws in the check first, then he takes queen f7, king here. But after he takes, actually I've got bishop c4 check. I think king h8 anyway. Queen takes h6. I've got at least a draw, which I think wins me the match there. So bishop c4, if I go queen f7, I can't take on e7 because you've got rook e8, so I have to give a check. King h8, queen takes h7. Can you run up with the king? I'd be shocked if you could run all the way with the king. But he's going to try. So I'm covering this square, I'm not covering this one, or this one. So rook g7, king f8, rook g5, king f5. Oh, I hate these things. Okay. Except king g7, rook g5, king g7. So when he gets there I can play castle queenside, but then... Okay, I'm just going to take... Oh, I can't take. Oh my god. What do I do? Okay, so let's just check him this way. I think he has to run up, yeah. Oh, it's got King D2. I was thinking that I just was somehow avoiding the connection, but it's just not at all, is it? He's also got other... Yeah, this is kind of nuts, isn't it? Oh, he's got queen check. I should have just played King B1 there. But yeah, it's I have to connect the kings. This is kind of nuts. Okay. I'm sure that was not a just one sec. Oh no, actually I'll check it after the match. I just wanted to kind of check how I could have secured that one, because that felt like I should just have been able to kind of maybe play a slow move there and just secure the draw. And that could be costly, because he's obviously a dangerous player. He could easily go on a spree now and steal the match away. So I had this in a bunch of matches in the Atomic World Championship against Onyebens, I think. I can't remember if he played E4 or if he... I think he played E4 in some of the positions, some of the games. So if he jumps in here now, I've got this kind of move. I can just kind of move my queen away. So I'm not sure. Maybe he plays bishop b5, c6, c3. Maybe that's his idea. Oh, I guess maybe he could play knight here as well, just kind of threatening this square, and then after I move it, he's got his bishop moves. But then maybe I can even just take if he does that. Bishop b5 and c3, I can also always just kind of grab material here. He's jumping with the knight. Again, I can grab material on a2. If I take on c2, I'm going to pawn up, but he's got this amazing knight. He just jumps in. Knight a6. So knight takes c2, knight b5, knight h6. I guess he takes on c7. So I get a piece, but he can always just kind of win some of it back. I'm just going to take the material, because I think I kind of need to do that. Or maybe now he does have this though. Maybe he can play this now. Maybe that was a mistake. Because then he's got this kind of thing. He's hitting everything. Perhaps taking on c2 was a more sensible move. Or even just knight h6. I kind of feel like maybe, I mean, this takes the kind of the dynamism out of my position, while he's still got quite a lot with this knight. So it could be that he's got some good stuff here. Okay, so I have to move the e-pawn. Then he's going bishop a3, bishop b4. He's going to try and check and then use the d6 square. So b5 is the other option. His kind of bishop comes in though, because he can play bishop a3, b4, bishop a6. I didn't like that. Don't really have much choice. If I'm allowed, I will just take this bishop, of course. So has he got some... Is he threatening to win somehow over there? I don't see it, to be honest. Maybe I'm being blind. So I'm threatening this, which directly will win. If he plays bishop a3, I have to go check. If I take it, then he's got knight d6. So I have to do the check, and then I have to do something about this attack. What to do? Probably just move my king, and then develop my knight out. I mean, he's obviously got huge play here. I want to just do this and then try and exchange stuff on g4, which doesn't necessarily mean the end of a danger, because when he's got a rook, it's still very dangerous for me. So I can throw in a5, he'll play g4, so I think I want to play these moves while I have a chance. He's only got 20 seconds, but he's going to try and pry open the g line. So I'm just going to do my fastest. If he plays g4, I'm going to play g5, just to stop him from playing that. So he's playing, so a4, e5 takes, he takes, but then it's just a draw, so he has to so I think that's, yeah, 6-5. Have I had an extra white though? I think I had white in the first game. So I think, so not over yet. You need yeah, I think that's right. So let me just double check that. So was I white in the first game? Oh no, it was. We've had an odd number of games, so hang on, no, he was white in this game. Sorry, no. Yeah, he's had an extra white. I think there's a bit of a confusing rule, perhaps. I think it was like it's first to 6 unless you've had more whites than the opponent. So I don't have to go through for a stressful another game. I think the key was for me just to try and play really fast, so I had a big time edge in most of the games, which I think helped. But yeah, really interesting games. That was a close match. Thanks to fast-tsunami. I was feeling pretty pessimistic, to be honest, before the match began, because I felt like I'd be getting in a lot more time trouble in kind of unclear positions, but it went well. So I'm gonna quickly. I think I'm gonna have a look through some of the games. Let's just see any comments that was made, and perhaps any interesting moments that I might have missed. So this first game, I thought like I was doing. So I lost this one. So what happened? Yeah, castles felt good. So it looked like, is that the right move, or perhaps not? It felt like the right move to me. It felt like I was playing it okay up until this point. I think maybe around here. Okay, the computer's saying I've already gone wrong. So I just didn't have time, perhaps, to save my rook. And maybe, like the computer's saying, knight takes c2 was just a bit rushed. I just have to do this really fast, do I? Because it ended up being very nasty for me. Once he got his pawn to h6, I think it was just game over. He probably should have won this more quickly than he did. I didn't, but okay, the computer's kind of suggesting that he did everything perfectly well, so that's probably just my impression during the game. Next game, are there any comments on the there are on strat. So the next game, I think this one wasn't so interesting to check, as I think it was just from the opening. I think from this position, I think if your computer gets to bigger depth, it will say that I'm doing well here. Yeah, so that game was just an opening victory, really. So this is plus bishop g5. So Grand Lapin saying that this is winning for white. I don't know where he made that comment, but I don't think this line is winning for white, is it? Or maybe my impression was that I was playing a decent line here, but it could be that my knowledge is outdated. So the computer's saying bishop f8. Okay, it's probably not worth paying too much attention to what it's saying. My impression was that after bishop f8, you could get counterplay somehow on the king side. You want to play f5 in most cases, but in this case, of course, you can. In fact, can you play it? Oh, you play bishop here, queen a5, c3. It's just saying it's really nice. So I guess you have to do it in a different way. h5 apparently takes, and then f5. Yeah. Anyway, oops. I think it's difficult to handle for both sides. This position. Maybe I need to look at this one in more detail. But this game felt like it went quite smoothly for me after that. I don't know if I missed anything. By this point, I think it's just game over. Yeah. So he could have done better at some moment around here. Probably taking on g4, allowing me to play f5 was not required. The computer's just playing a slow move like a4. I guess that's aimed against queen a5, so you can just play b4. So that misses queen e4. Did I miss some like easy win? Did I? Queen e4. Oh, loses tempo to queen f2. Oh, I could have played queen f2. Oh, queen f4 is the same though. Yeah, it's the same tempo. I think he even realised. Yeah, okay. Right. Next one. So yeah, so this is kind of like a dangerous gambit. I think the most popular. Well, actually, no, put e5. I think the best move is knight c6. This is what I remember, and then e6, and you get this position with and then the bishop comes out. Only been a couple of games, but okay, but they're quite serious players. Castle's been played, yeah, castle seems normal. And white just has like a nice initiative, but if black's accurate, then I guess the game kind of continues. But I thought that would be a good choice for this kind of match. Was knight e4 a good move then, or not? So queen e2 is... The other move I was thinking of during the game I mentioned was bishop f4, and then after e5 playing bishop d3. Okay, the computer's just completely laughing at me. Knight f5. I guess, yeah, just taking, he's got queen e7. Queen e2, knight e3 looks unpleasant to me, even if it's equal apparently. So knight e4, anyway, knight e4 is an interesting move. The engine evaluation doesn't drop too much. And it's saying e6 is best. But e6, I mean, knight g4, it's quite difficult to play that move as black, I think. Just allowing this knight in. What was it saying? Knight f7, queen c8. I mean, I'd just much rather be white here. I mean, so this knight can't jump in, and you've just got this strong knight for a pawn. I think it's just much nicer for white, especially in a practical game. But he took queen d6, d3. Looks like neither of us missed anything massive here. Oh, until this moment perhaps. So we should have taken it. I was thinking that I could play Queen D3. And then... okay, I thought my rooks were getting in faster, actually. I think I just kind of evaluated the position at a glance. Yeah, so that wouldn't have been good at all. That would have been a way for him to equalise the game. That wouldn't have been so nice. But yeah, e6 is actually what I was kind of expecting him to do, I think, at the time. And now it's just better for me again. C4. Yeah, by this point I guess we were down to seconds. I won this one in the end, but I was fortunate I had this device over here to kind of lock his pawns and then open up the position, because otherwise I'm sure he would have flagged me. He generally is faster, so fortunately I just had enough time to construct a mating net. There's probably something slightly faster as well, but maybe not, maybe not. I just did it the most efficient way. So this one, yeah, this game I felt like I was doing well. So Grand Lapid had this position a lot. Yeah, I agree with that. Two bishops is always nice to have. I think this position generally, I'm not sure about b6. I would have thought something like e4 is kind of natural. Oh, fast-tsunami's had this before in a game. And then, you know, I guess I play knight h6. I don't know if I can play f5 like I did in the game. Maybe f5. Or is that terrible? Yeah. Nothing. Well, the computer's suggesting moves like g3 and c3, so I'm guessing it's not. Can't be too bad. Knight h6 or f5. b3 felt a bit, I don't know, it just felt a bit limp to me. And then after this exchanges, I felt like I was slightly better. I mean, perhaps equal, but I'd rather be black. Queen d3, I missed queen d3. But it didn't look like it won material, at least. Yeah, this certainly felt like... Yeah, I thought g4 here. I thought that was good, because now if I take here and he takes on c5. So the computer's saying you go g5. Yeah, I mean, this is difficult to play. I'm not sure how much time we had left here. Oh, we had enough time to make at least a few more sensible moves before things would descend into chaos. This is a mistake. f5. Oh, because he's got f5, and after e5 he can play bishop f8. That would have been a good move. Yeah, so I have to play knight here. And now he's got a good initiative. I guess game still goes on. It looks still interesting there. Yeah, I gave him the chance to do it again, which he did, and then I played knight e3, which, yeah, I should have played it to f2. I think I realised this at the time as well. It was quite unpleasant. Yeah, I had to take on d6, and then did I have a way? I guess not. I think I just didn't have time because he's just too fast with king g1 and g4. So I think my mistake then was knight e3. I should have played knight f2. Well, I shouldn't have probably allowed rook f5 in the first place, but once I got this position, that it's kind of all to play for. I've got a nice time advantage. Anything can happen. So d4. I think this was, again, just a really nice opening for me. So this has happened in a bunch of games. So bishop c4, the computer's not... Okay, so queen a3 just mates, does it? So queen a3, queen d6, bishop f4. Yeah, that's not complicated, is it? Yeah, I should have seen that really. But I guess d6, yeah, e6 is what I was expecting him to do, and I couldn't see a win. I was going to take here, and then I thought that this must be good for me, like because I've got ideas of just getting a rook to the d line, like probably bishop f4, or bishop h6 also, or bishop e3, all these three moves. Just the bishop moves that are threatening stuff, followed by putting the rook on the d line. So he took bishop here. Did I play it? No, again I didn't. Okay, it's queen d3 still mates. Bishop d6 takes. Yeah. So we had one chance to get out of the mate, but it was still good for me. So he went back to this line again, slightly differently with d4. I felt like this was possibly, like, I think this was a really nice game from him, or it felt like it during the game. It felt like he really kept me under the cosh in this game, like the whole time. I had a chance to break out here, did I? Queen a5, queen a5. Yeah, knight d4. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing not to have seen that, because that's really kind of one of the main ideas of king f8, really. But okay, I think I thought somehow for some reason that it was forced to play f5, so I played it pretty much straight away. See, and now he stopped me from doing it. Yeah, so I missed my moment. King g7, queen f8. That's a masterly regrouping. That was not on my radar. But that's nice. I'll try and remember that. b6, castle queenside, bishop a6. So what should I have done then? Queen e7. Yeah, that's actually pretty natural, isn't it? For some reason I think I was trying to avoid putting my queen on e7. I don't know why. This is the thing when you look at the computer afterwards. It shows you moves that are obvious but didn't occur to you at the time. And now I should have. Yeah, well, obviously king e8 went into the checkmate, of course. If I'd seen that, then I would have played king g7. But if I'd seen that, I wouldn't have played queen b8, I guess, in the first place. But yeah, interesting game. So it looks like queen e7 is good for me, but it's still dangerous. I mean, yeah, he's got these ideas of bringing his queen in, like into the position. But I guess they're just not so dangerous, because all my pieces are on dark squares and he's got the light squared bishop. Okay. So the version of this line is certain knight h3, knight h6 is superior. I'm not sure that's true. The reason I like this line is because of this idea of playing knight f3 and in. But maybe it is. Maybe it's objectively slightly better to play knight h3. But I think I'm not convinced. I've played them both. I think they're both kind of slightly nicer for white. So my impression of this game was it was a bit quite nice for me, and then so here I just thought he should play d5. This is what I was a little bit more concerned about, because I mean he's just going to get the bishop for a pawn. Yeah, I think he should have done that. I think that was his best option. If he's going to have a slightly worse position, he might as well have a bit of extra material for it. That would be my approach anyway. But knight a6, I quite liked this a3 move. If he was just saying take it, but I quite like this. Felt good. Bishop e3 or bishop d2. It felt like my moves were pretty normal around here. Maybe c4 is not required. I was sort of in two minds really. I mean, I had a mind to kind of play c4 and kind of block him up, but it didn't really happen. And by this point I felt like I was still slightly preferable, but not. This was a bit strange, yeah, his king dance was a bit. Yeah, I think by this point, when he can block with the king on f7, this feels like it should just be a draw. So maybe I have to somehow keep the tension. Maybe just play d4, yeah, and d5. h4, yeah. Also move the king h2, and then just try and open the g file perhaps, because he's just put his king back and forth. He might be too embarrassed to do it again. So king h2, h4, open into g file, and then play like these moves. In the meantime, of course, he's going to play this, and try and just block it with the bishop, and then move his rook over. So I think it should end in a draw anyway. But maybe I can torture him a little bit. Okay. So this one. So yeah, queen h4. I was right. So knight. I meant to play f5. Yeah, going king d1. That's exactly right. This was a really interesting game actually, I remember. So king d8 perhaps isn't so bad. It's never been played. So he played knight takes h7, bishop b7. Is the computer saying this is bad? So bishop d3. Yeah. Well, that's definitely better than what happened, because this just fell for a mate. So bishop d3. So bishop e4 doesn't work. Because that's the first move I would think of, is bishop e4. Queen d5. He's just got too much material, has he? Yeah. He's also got this unopposed h pawn, which will be difficult to restrain. So it probably is good for white, but still, when you've got a queen, there's always chances. Another option is just to take, but then he is quite a lot of material up. I'm hitting both of these, so I guess g3. Yeah, he's got an extra pawn and I can't castle. That's quite nice, probably. Just nice for him. Yeah, I probably shouldn't grab the exchange. Just play for the initiative somehow, but it's not going to be good. So, what was the? Is f5 better then? So, the Atomic Chessbox had lots of games here. f5. Then if he takes on here, play f4. e4. This is the strongest atomic player against the best theoretician. It looks like black. This is much better than the previous version because his queen can't be kicked so easily. So yeah, it looks interesting. So f5 is better. So okay, that was a fun game though. This one. Was this the one where? Yeah, this was the ridiculous game. I really want to I feel a bit embarrassed that I lost this game. I really shouldn't have done. Queen h5. So this is just a draw, is it? F takes, bishop c4, king h8 takes. So check. So rook h6, king g5, g6, king f4. Oh, okay, I could just play rook e4, yeah. I think that's kind of funny actually, because like for the whole time I couldn't take on e7 because of rook e8. and then once he gets all the way here to connect the kings, it's like it helps me. So like I can do it because he's made my king safe. That's quite nice actually. Yeah. To be honest, before the match I was expecting more games like this. I was expecting this to happen multiple times, just based on what I've seen in the past. So King B1 is definitely what I should have played here. And then, I'm not sure, yeah, at the time I thought this is kind of interesting, because he's actually allowed me to separate the kings again. It turns out he has got a line, but, I mean, we're both down to second, so he has got this defence. So, king there, I move again with the king. That doesn't seem the most natural move, to be honest. I probably would have just moved the c-pawn. In a game, I'm sure I would have just moved the c-pawn. He takes on g4. And I feel like, he just runs away again in the other direction with the king. Why is king a2 so much better than this? Or is it not? Is it just... So bishop f3. This is the reason it's better, is it? Oh, because I'm threatening that, and if he doesn't move, then I can play g3 and kind of get him in another net, can I? If he wastes a move, I play g3. And then I've got rook d3. But he's got this pawn anyway. Anyway, I took... And then it was just... I should have moved faster. I was trying to be clever about my piece placements. I was thinking too much about where to place my pieces in terms of making it awkward for him to run, but then I just lost too easily on time. Okay. Fast-tsunami is definitely the best swindler. That is true. I remember like in my early kind of atomic days, it was quite clear there was the best swindler was Molten Thinker. He still plays now. His nickname is Smash Time Falls. I find there's like a kind of a link, like when players are kind of a bit more loose with their play, like generally they tend to be much better, I guess. If they reach a certain level, they tend to be much better just because they're used to having these bad positions, and because they're not so big on openings or kind of studying, so I guess they have to be good if they're going to reach that level at maximising their chances. And yes, fast-tsunami is probably the most resourceful player there's ever been, really, I would say, in Atomic. That's why I said earlier I was expecting more games like the one that was in the previous one. So takes... Let me back up, I wasn't paying too much. What should I have done? So I should have taken on c2, apparently. This doesn't look very clear at all. e5. I'm not sure. I felt like by this point... Okay, so king f8 was a blunder. Queen b8. Queen b8 is a much better move. Queen b8 g3, here's what he would do though. a5, h5, knight h6. Okay, I'm not sure about that. King f8, but apparently is terrible because queen e2. Oh, of course he just plays queen b5 anyway. And if I get b5, I guess he just takes, does he? Or something? Yeah. And then he's got knight d6. And he's mating me somehow. Rook f1. Castles. Yeah, that's brutal. Okay. I hadn't seen anything like that. Evidently. By this point I felt like I was doing okay again, so he shouldn't have done that. g4. Yeah, g4 makes sense, just trying to open up this line. this is scary stuff. So I think I got a bit lucky maybe in this game. I'm skipping over these moves, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Well, maybe I missed a win, but I don't feel he missed a win. And I was kind of at the time feeling happy to get away with a draw. There's been a lot of comments on maybe somebody's. Two more and 2 overs a decision. Yeah, that was the last game. So where did I go wrong in this game? I must have gone pretty wrong for it to... Knight A3. So no games have reached this position. So knight takes C2 knight. Maybe I have to go in for this just mess. This is transposed to something. Archer against Yavica. E5. Knight to E7. I'd have been happy to reach a position like this. Yes, it's quite nice. So yeah, I guess I was just scared about the attack. But okay. Yeah, really good games. Hope everybody enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna probably end it there. Just check if there's any comments for me to, or any questions. Oh, lots of comments by Gannett. Very strong player. Right, game 10 offers a sacrificial tsunami swindle. Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be one, wasn't there? There's always going to be one, at least. Unfortunately, there's only one. Okay, that's going to be the end of it. So, thanks for watching. I'm guessing I'll be streaming the final as well. I'll be through to the final. It will be against the winner of Onyben's against Pash Pash. I don't think that match has been arranged yet, so I don't know what time they'll be playing, but that should be a good match up too. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll even... No, I think it might be a bit much if I start streaming that and commenting on it too, because you probably want to watch the comments of the players. But I'll certainly be watching them, perhaps switching between the streams. That would be really good. I've never seen Pash Pash stream before, but yeah, a very strong player, so he's certainly got a chance. Onyben's, of course, for me, possibly the strongest or the greatest Atomic player there's ever been, so that'll be a very good match, and looking forward to playing the winner next. Hopefully I play like this, because I think I played quite well this match, but certainly a lot better than my last match. Yeah, so I'm going to end it there, and thanks for watching. See you again soon.